So I don't have much experience with these bandsaws, but the one that came off, the teeth were in this position going down, and I was wondering if they should be opposite. I'm about to put the new one on, and the teeth are going in the direction I would think they would be going in, you know, cutting down. So maybe that was a problem also why it was taking so long. This blade was made wrong, because I can't put it on any other. I could turn it inside out. Interesting. Alright, well, I'm not going to flip this blade around. I'm going to put it in like this, and hopefully that'll alleviate some of my problems. So the blade was like flipped within itself, so the teeth were going in the other direction. When I saw that when I was cutting it, you know, it was taking a long time, but it did give me a very clean, straight cut. So now that I have the teeth how they're supposed to be going, I might not get as clean of a cut over here, but let's press on. So I did a pretty clean cut with both of these. You see that split right there that I was talking about earlier. That split, I have enough of the wood here so that I shouldn't have to worry about that. And this is pretty much identical thickness as what the handle was. So yeah, I should be able to use this. If not, I've got the backup one. It is a little bit thicker, and I'll just have to repeat the same process if I can't get this to work out. So I glued the pieces back together just to give me a reference point when I'm measuring and where stuff needs to be. It's only been a few hours, but I wanted to work this so it gets all the evapor rust in the crevices. But actually, it's turned out pretty good so far. It's only been about 4 hours. Nice kazoo. Alright, so this is soaked in the evapor rust for about 24 hours now. Nice. Let's get it cleaned up. So I'm going to spray a little WD-40 up in the areas that I can't get to in case there's any water up in there. But it does fully close now. It didn't do that before. So that's good. Alright, let's get this a little cleaned up a little bit more. So on this handle part here, you can see where this end got mushed down. They might have used it to hammer something that way, I don't know. So I'm going to take down some of these high spots on this side of the handle. So it's cleaning up. It's definitely better than it originally was. Looks like the manufacturer, it says Coe's Wrench Company, Worcester, Massachusetts, USA. And then I've got too much pitting on this side, but it probably says USA Patents and it has a number. This actually looks like it could have been like somebody's thumb and then it rusted. I'm having a heck of a time trying to clean up this little area here because I can't get the little Brillo pad air tool thing in there. So got to try to figure out how to do this with manual sandpaper or something. I've thinned out this. Doesn't look like it, but it is thinned out. Probably take just a little bit more off this too. Then we'll start on the handles. I've got a brass rivet coming. I should be getting that today, and then I'll work on getting these married to the wrench itself. So I've never done anything like this, so I'm gonna have to take this really super slow. I cut the wood, giving me some wiggle room in case I mess up, so I'm gonna just lightly keep sanding this down until it fits. I'll do that with both sides. I did buy like a grinder wheel attachment, and I'll use that to hollow out the inside of the wood. I did reglue these pieces back together just so I had a point of reference, like where this angles up is right here, so I'll have to just lightly sand that down until I get these things married in place. So alright, here goes nothing. I'm getting there. This is sure some hard wood. I guess it's old hickory. I mean, this thing's like a rock. It's taking forever to sand this thing down, but I gotta take it nice and slow so I can get these two things to seat properly. So slowly, let me get back in focus, slowly getting it in shape. I just marked here and here, and I got a pencil line here and here. I've got to try to dig a well out for this piece of metal which sticks up. I was watching another YouTube video on a guy that did knife blades, and he would mark the handles so he knew which side he was working on, so I just labeled this one X, so I know each time I try to seat it, it just goes to this particular side. And sorry, I'm out of frame again. Okay, never used this before, so gotta take it nice and slow. Well, I've got the first side done, but I might have to call this a fail. It does have a slight crack here in the wood. Hopefully that won't split when I drill into it for the rivet. But let's see this. Yeah, you can see the little bit of daylight shining through there. So I came up at an angle, I guess, too much, and took a little bit too much wood off there. Hopefully, when I do the epoxy, maybe that'll fill it in. So my plan is, once I get both pieces on here, rivet them together, and then sand this in place to conform to the handle. but I'm disappointed with that. But I've never done this before. I'm not a woodworker, but hopefully it'll turn out okay once I epoxy this in place. Okay, so I have the other piece cut to fit. I just need to take it a little slower so I don't mess up the angle like I did on the other one. Let's see if I can do a better job on this half. Alright, so I've got the other handle done. I did better this time. You might see a little light coming through there. The metal is still a little wavy, and I'm not that proficient at this. Here's the other piece. You can see, maybe see the difference. Yeah, I've got to run up to the hardware store. I don't have any epoxy, so I'm going to do that and then start finishing this up. So this is my very first time using epoxy. This is like 5-minute epoxy. So I will have to move fast, from what I'm told. Ugh, stinks. Kind of smells like tuna fish. Getting this everywhere. Hopefully this can be easily sanded off. Sorry if I'm not getting this on camera here. See, this stuff's already getting thicker on me. So I don't know how much I got of that when I was putting this on the camera. I might have been out of frame, sorry, because I was focusing on this. This stuff does not mess around with. So it says you can play with it for 5 minutes. I probably had 2.5 minutes, and this stuff was starting to get really thick on me, or starting to. But it says it dries in 8 to 10 minutes, and then cure time is 1 hour. So after that, I'll shave off some of these pieces of wood here and start trying to form the handle. I'll use this, and hopefully it'll make light work of shaping this for me, and then I'll finish it up with a hand sandpaper. I've sanded it down and shaped it. It's a little thicker meat here than what it originally had. Do a way of comparison. Thickness is just a little bit thicker. I did find, after watching some other videos, some people were using cutlery rivets. So I need to make this hole a little bit bigger to accept this, and then I'll just put that in for decoration. I know it doesn't need it because I did epoxy it, but I think it would make it look a little bit nicer. So next couple tools I'd like to get my hands on would be a drill press and a belt sander. So I think a drill press would be good for doing something like this. I might have a bad bit here. Or this wood is like extremely hard. I'm gonna guess a bad bit because it was smoking. There we go. Got a clean hole straight through. Now, in one of the videos, one person left this thing high and then another one countersunk it. So I'm going to try to find a bit. It's just a little bit smaller or equal to this, so that I can just countersink this just a tad. Thought I was recording, but I guess I wasn't. What I was trying to say was I was going to put a coat or two of the boiled linseed oil in there before I drew the rivet into it. So you didn't get to see really the before, but it's a very nice color. Do this one-handed now. I figured I'd show the completed project outside because we got a little bit better light out here. So it's not a total restoration of bringing back to life, but you know, cleaned it up. Got the little brass rivet in there. The wood turned out nice. I mean, not an expert, so I have where the epoxy filled in there, you know, trying to marry this wood. That was kind of difficult for me because I've never done that before, but turned out pretty good. There's a close-up of the manufacturer name. Thank you for watching.